some fun. Okay. Well, I don't know what direction this live is going to go, but feels nice to be back after whatever scenario it was, and I'm dressed appropriate. I mean, this might be too much cleavage for TikTok. I don't know. Actually, let me have my queefing mug over here. What is up, Jane? Thank you for joining. I have my hoodie on, but I don't want to mess my hair up, so I'm gonna just leave that alone. But anyway, thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate you. So what are we talking about? I have some notes. Let's see. I think I do, at least. Anyway, I'm not sure. Whenever I go on live, I never prepare. I don't prepare for anything. Actually, I think that might be a good place to start. Okay. So here's something that's interesting. And again, I'm going to go with like one of my favorites, Florence Scovel Shinn. And she says something to the effect of digging the ditches, right? And this kind of ties into what Bashar says about, follow your highest joy or whatever the case. I don't know what exactly he says, but I see the two of them combined, and I've seen that play out a lot. Okay. So you have your set destination, which is what Florence Scovel Shinn says about digging the ditches. So you dig the ditches, and it's like a metaphor for like, then when the rain comes, you have water, right? Because you're prepared for when it rains, you have the water. Now, what Bashar says is like, you should have no expectation. But in my opinion, if you have no expectation, it's kind of like Cheshire Cat energy, which I love the Cheshire Cat. That's my spirit animal. It says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But you have in your mind the ditch that you want to dig, right? Like you're a millionaire, whatever the case. But there's no expectation at the same time. So it looks contradictory of how it could happen or when it could happen or anything of that sort. You just kind of like, okay, this is what it is. But you do what makes you feel good along the way. Okay. So this is where, ooh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So this is where you ideally want to be, where you have the ditch dug. You're a multimillionaire, whatever it is, but there's also, since manifestation doesn't shut off, it's like, ooh, thank you for the gift. The journey is always happening no matter what. So you just follow what feels right to you in the moment, whether it's out of character, whether it's out of pocket, whether it's something you've done before, whether it's something you haven't done before. If it feels right in the moment, just go with it, because what that's doing, and I have personally experienced this, that is opening an energetic portal. Okay. So I've seen videos on here. I don't know if you guys have seen them too. If you're in the manifestation community and like quantum mechanics community, you probably have. But like a lot of the videos, ooh, I love that. What a cute cat. Thank you. What I've been seeing, or what I've seen, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, was like there were different people and they were like doing things different in their 3D to like open up energetic portals to quantum shift, like such as like walking sideways or walking backwards, or like going up to a random person if they've never gone up to a random person before, like just doing something totally out of character. And that, they say, opens an energetic portal, because it's like you're introducing something brand new to the algorithm. So it's the same thing as like TikTok. Like if you're only looking at videos of like, I don't know, metaphysics, right? Which is pretty much what my feed is. And then all of a sudden I start looking up videos of, I don't even know, fashion. And I do look at some fashion stuff, but you know what I mean? Like if I just switched up and I start searching fashion into TikTok, that is me changing the algorithm of TikToks, and TikTok is going to get the signal, just like the signal of the Matrix is going to get the signal. They're doing something different, so let's give them something different. So that is something that you can try if you feel like you're stuck, which obviously you're never really stuck, and you wouldn't want to affirm that, and you wouldn't want to go with that story. But if you are sensing like you want to change something in your physical reality, you have the expectation, you have the ditch dug, and you are having no expectation of how it's going to happen. But if it feels like you're being drawn to do something, such as inspired action, and you just go with it instead of saying, oh, but I've never done something like that before, like that's weird, that's not opening up a new portal, right? That's staying in the same energetic frequency as you have been this whole time, quote, quote. So you're going to stay in that same timeline, if that makes sense. So do not be afraid. Be not afraid. As the fucking Seraphim say, or however the story goes. Be not afraid to do something different, because that switches up your entire algorithm. And then it's like you have a whole bunch of different shit showing up for you. And you're like, oh, okay. So that's what I'd recommend. If you feel like you're stuck, you can do something different. Okay, number one, obviously it starts in your mind, but you can also physically do something different, like take the scenic way home after work or school or whatever it is that you're doing. Hey, Mickey Mouse, what is up? Thank you for joining. So you know where you're going. You have the ditch dug. Digging the dishes, yes, dug. You have the ditch dug, but there's also no expectation of how or when it's going to happen. It's just like, well, this is where it's leading, so it doesn't matter. But if you're guided to do something, even if it seems like it's really strange or out of the ordinary, you're just going to go with it, okay? Because I've done this. And how you can tell this might be something of significance, if you haven't necessarily experienced an energetic portal, it's gonna feel, and like everyone, hey, love you too, what is up? Hey, Ambi. So what it feels like, an energetic portal. Now this is, it's like, you know, some say that even stepping through doorways or portals, right? Like when you step into a different room of your home, it's like a portal. But an energetic portal, literally, I have felt them as like, number one, it's like I feel this rush of energy in my body, even if I'm standing still, and it'll be like, it's like kind of moving, like just go. And then typically I'll hear the voice. I call it the voice. This is a voice that always talks to me. It just tells me different things. So it'll be like, go with this or do that. But I'll feel this like surge of energy, and it doesn't feel like excitement necessarily. It just feels like, I don't know, like if you just took like a caffeine shot or something, okay? Like you know, those 5-hour energy. I've never taken one because for me, I ain't about uppers, you know what I'm saying? But if you were, I could imagine it would be like if you take like a 5-hour energy drink, it's just like you feel this like rush of energy, and you're like, ooh, and it's just like, but it's energetic. It's nothing that you're consciously aware of thinking. But for me, I get a voice that says, do this as well. So it's like you'll just get a surge, and then you'll just be moved. It's not gonna be something that you have to think about. So that's definitely what I recommend following, especially if it is something that seems alien to you, okay? Because the more you switch it up, you're just gonna shake up the energy, okay? Like, so if you feel like you're stuck in a routine, try doing something. Number one, don't look at it as like, you know, as a routine. Be like, okay, I'm consciously deciding that things are always shifting in my favor. But then you also might want to do something physical to break up and release that stagnant energy, such as like you walk sideways or you walk backwards or you take a different way home or whatever the case, okay? You want to do something different physically if you are really feeling stuck. Now, a lot of times when you are just thinking about the change, like I said, that energetic portal is going to open up naturally, and you're just going to be led through it with that surge of energy. It's kind of like it's like a jet propulsion. I don't know how to describe it, or like a 5-hour energy shot. It's just going to be something that you feel. It's going to be like energy, like pulsing throughout your body. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to go. Okay. And then you just do that. But now, there's also times when you can tell that you have literally shifted timelines. You can tell this physically. And the number one physical sign, in my opinion, is deja vu. Okay, so deja vu is like, basically it's like you are living something, but it feels like you've already lived it before. Okay, so that's what's happening, right? And we've all had, I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat has had this experience of deja vu. In my opinion, that's two timelines intersecting. You crossed over because both versions of you converged at that juncture point in quote, quote time. And then it's like, I lived this before, but it's like, it's happening simultaneously with that version of you that merged together. Okay. Number two, this one might be a little weird, but I have experienced it. So I do want to mention it, is that sometimes you will feel like, I think I mentioned this before in maybe one of my videos or my lives or something, but it's like when you're in the water at the beach, okay, like waves or even a wave pool, it's like you're just standing still, but you're like getting like not like fucking, you know what I mean? But like you're getting moved kind of like slowly, okay, by the waves, and you're just standing there, you're not doing anything. Sometimes you'll feel a wave like that happen when you're just walking, or if you're sitting, or if you're cleaning, or if you're making food, whatever. All of a sudden it'll be like you feel like this. Okay, and this is not to be confused with like any medical condition, you know what I mean, like vertigo or something like that. This is like you it's not in your mind, it's in your body. Like your body will literally, you'll feel like a sway of energy, okay, and you're like, whoa, what is that? That is the other version of you that you've been summoning, and it's like coming into your body, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And I've experienced that a lot of times. And like I remember a few times, like when that was like starting to happen, before I was aware of it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like it was kind of trippy, because I was like, it was like, whoa. And it was like another version just like stepped in, okay? And that's what it is, because everything exists in energetic potential, as we're talking about, you know, quantum mechanics and things like that. So the energetic potential of the version of you in the ideal reality already exists in the energetic field, right? It exists because you can observe it in your mind. So the more that you are tuned into that frequency of that version of you, the closer you and that thing get together. And then when you finally are in alignment with that thing, and like this is like subtle energy shit, but like you can sense when you switch a timeline, or when you I don't know, up a level in consciousness, if you want to call it that. Okay, it's like the two versions converge, and that's what causes that wave within you, because it's like the ideal version is here, it already exists, you exist here, and then you've merged, and it's like whew, it's like kind of like whoa, okay. And deja vu, the same thing. So that's just something that, if you are attuned to energies, that's something to be aware of. So that's how you could tell that you've shifted timelines as well. And of course, the number one indicator that you have shifted timeline is if your 3D looks the same, but you are viewing it differently. That is the number one indicator that I will tell everyone. That is how you know you've shifted states. What they talk about in the quantum shifting reality, whatever, the shift talk. Yes, I think that's it. Shift talk. Cut what a talking, you know what I'm saying? But we rolling with it. Okay, so what they talk about, how to tell that you've shifted, a lot of times it's very like extreme. They'll be like, yeah, like I woke up and then this happened or that happened. It's like, yeah, that's possible, but like the most telltale sign that you have shifted is you wake up in a different, with a new set of eyes, where your 3D can look exactly the same, but you are perceiving the 3D differently. You're like, okay, yeah, cool. You're unbothered. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, you're just like, okay, yeah. I mean, even if shit looks the same, you have shifted if you are unbothered, because remember, you're not shifting the 3D, you're shifting you. And the 3D, and here's what they say. Oh my God, here's something that they say in the manifestation community that I don't know if I really agree with. They're like, oh, the 3D is like a past reflection of you. And it's like, but the 3D is going on now because you can only perceive the 3D from the now moment. Even if you were to perceive yesterday or tomorrow in terms of 3D, right? Yesterday I went to the gym. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the hair salon, whatever it is, right? When are you perceiving that? You're perceiving that now. So the 3D is a direct reflection. It's just you that has shifted. So the 3D is not outdated at all. And that's why I said shift is instant, because you can literally, if I knew how to snap my fingers, I would, but I don't know how to, and I don't give a fuck how, because I don't care. I don't know how to snap my fingers. So I'm gonna just make noises with my nails because that's how we roll. But anyway, so the 3D is not the past. The 3D is not the future. The 3D is the present. It's just there. It's neutral presence. So if you are present in the 3D and you are looking at it differently than you were just a moment ago, you have shifted, because your awareness is always on to the now moment. So how is the 3D the past? How is it past built up belief systems if it's going on now? That's why you can change things in an instant, because you just look at it differently. That's all you have to do. And you continue to look at the thing differently. So the only time that I would recommend to anyone to really, like, you know, and I know that they talk in the spiritual community especially about like shadow work and things like that. You don't need to do all that. The only thing that I would recommend is that if there's a recurring pattern that you are in awareness of, okay, with whatever sector of your experience, then yes, I would recommend you looking, okay, if it's been going on and the common denominator is you and it's happened multiple times, then you want to look into that and you want to find out what is this saying about a story I have going on. That would be the only time you need to or would want to look into the past, okay? But theoretically, right now, you can just wipe this slate clean and say, my past has always been perfect. The future is perfect, because I'm viewing the past as perfect right now. I'm viewing the future as perfect right now, and that's all there is. So the only one who is bringing the past into the present is you. And yes, there can be subconscious programs going on, okay? But if you really are just like, nah, you know what, fuck it, I just want to do what I want to do right now, like fuck the past, fuck the future, just right now, everything is good, then that's what you're gonna do. The past doesn't matter. You're a born-again virgin. I'ma make me a church called the Church of the Born-Again Virgin. You ain't never been tainted, touched. You never been lied to, you never been cheated on, you never been gaslit, you never been ghosted, you never been broke, you never been in ill health, none of that ever happened. Because in the now moment, if you're viewing it as divine perfection, I don't mean divine like, oh, the Lord came down through the heavens. No, the divinity is within you, right? So if you're looking at everything right now from the divine perfection of like the third eye, you're just like, well, nothing matters aside from here and now. And as long, oh shit, I love that. Thank you for the gift. That was so perfect. I love that. I love that. That was perfect what I just said. Thank you. So definitely, ooh, hello. I love England. I love London, England. Holla, UK. What is up? So you want to look at things from the now moment always, okay? Unless, as I said, if there's been a repetitive pattern and it keeps going on and you notice it in your awareness now, then yeah, you might want to take a look into that and say, what does this say about a story that I have going on? Because it's only a story going on in the background. But as far as like wiping the slate clean, let's say you look at it and you have a story, you have to work hard for money or whatever the case is, right? You can just say right now, you know what? I get paid to exist. All my material realm needs are always met and exceeded before I even think about them. And you can say that now, you can declare it and just keep going in every now moment with that story. And it has no choice but to play out. And the previous story cannot exist without your awareness on it. Nothing exists without your awareness on it, because you are the Lord and there is none else. So If you are the Lord and there is none else, nothing exists outside of what you are aware of existing. So if you were to just say theoretically, you know what, the past never happened. I don't even have a past. I'm just right now, everything is perfect. That's it. So now what does that look like to you? Okay. And then you have to stick with that. Your only duty is to really stick with the story that you want. Go full delulu, as they say, because you're being delusional, whether you follow a third dimensional paradigm that you have to work for money, and you're being delusional that you say $20 million can just appear in your bank account out of nowhere, free and clear, right? Both of them are delusions, right? Because they're a story that you have to accept, but both of them aren't real until you place your awareness on them. Okay, just like, yeah, it's a delusion that you're single and you got broken up with. It's a delusion that you're happily married to the love of your life. They're both, where do they exist, right? They only exist here and now, but the one that wins, quote, quote, is the one that you are tuned into. Okay, if I got Netflix on, then Hulu ain't in the motherfucking chat now, is it? Because I'm watching Netflix. I'm not tuned into Hulu. Personally, I prefer Hulu to Netflix. I mean, whatever. Netflix is just, to me, I don't know. They start getting really weird. That's just my opinion, but whatever. You know what I mean. So if you're tuned into one thing, the other thing how can it exist if you are the awareness and you're looking at the thing? And this is what they say also about meditation. Okay, meditation is not sitting like this. Oh, no, it's not doing that. Meditation is when you are just being in the moment, doing whatever it is that you're doing, you be in the moment. Whether you're showering, whether you're shitting, whether you're drinking, whether you're fucking, whether you're cooking, whether you're driving, whether you're walking, whether you're fucking talking, you're just in the moment. That's why I would have to say like 99% of the time when people get their manifestation, you already have it, but you know what I mean? When it materializes in the 3D, they were in the moment, just enjoying their life. Boom, it appeared like a rabbit out of a hat from a fucking magician. That's when it appeared, because they weren't looking for it. Because think about it. If I'm looking for a movie to watch, am I watching the movie? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. If I am looking for a movie to watch, what should I watch next? What should I watch? Do I want to watch horror? Do I want to watch psycho thriller? Do I want to watch... Am I watching the movie? No, because I'm looking at what to watch. I'm not watching it. And that's what you do in your fucking mind. And you do it through a visual, you do it through a thought, whatever it is, or you just be present in the moment, but you have your ditch dug. And like Bashar says, you be present. What's going to make me happy right now? If I go like shut this live off and go take a hot shower and masturbate, I mean, okay, maybe that'll make me happy. I don't know. Maybe it makes someone else happy. I don't know. What's going to make you happy? You'd be happy if you jump off here and you go to the gym, you use a punching bag, if you go take a shit, if you go eat some Doritos, like what feels good right now? You see what I'm saying? You just enjoy shit. You just enjoy it. The guy who talks through the movie asking when and how. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, I've experienced some of those. Like when someone is talking through a movie, I'm like, okay, like you're not watching it, you're not paying attention. Just if you were to pay attention, then maybe you wouldn't need to ask when or how. But yeah, so that's what you want to do. You have the intention of what it is, but you don't hyperfixate on it. And what I just said in my most recent video, okay, here's the thing, okay, when you, and it's the little things, okay, it's typically the little things, because the big things, right, in this case size does matter. So it's the little things, okay, that you want to be aware of, right? Because the big things, yeah, I sat and I affirmed, I did robotic affirmations for 10 hours. Okay. So then something pops up the next day and you flip the fuck out and you call 10 of your homies and you're like, guess what happened? You just defeated what you did the other day by going with the opposite. It's the little things. That's why you want to be mindful of your complaining, because you're programmed to complain, right? That's why motherfuckers are addicted to gossip. Whoa. Gossip and drama, okay? That's why I remember I used to watch back in the day the Real Housewives. Pick a Real Housewives, okay? I used to watch it. And what were the highest rated episodes where they were fucking wilding, they were fucking throwing glasses across the table, fucking screaming, right? Pulling hair, doing all this shit. Why? Because you're programmed that shit is like, it draws you in, it's lower chakra energy, right? So you're programmed to complain and be dramatic and all this shit, okay? You're programmed for that. Just like even, I mean, I don't know, but like even with sports, with like someone who's in, I've never been into sports. I just use Real Housewives because that's a real life example for me. But let's say you're into sports and then you got like 10 motherfuckers in the room and 5 of them are for this team, 5 of them are for the other team, and they're getting mad, they're getting rowdy. They're like, what, fuck this shit, right? What, you see the way the fucking matrix is designed? It's designed to get you to emit that drama frequency, right? To make you think that that's normal and natural, when in reality, I don't give a fuck, because I don't even, the Housewives, I don't know for a fact, but being that I was on a reality show, that shit is not scripted where there's lines you have to memorize, but there's an agenda. They'll be like, we're going to put you in this scene. Here's what we want you to do out of the scene. And you just kind of ad lib from there. Okay. With sports, I don't know shit about sports, but I've heard that they do things like deflate the ball or inflate the ball, or like with boxing matches, that it's like, okay, they go in and then they pretend to do this. And at like the 10th round, it's like, okay, yeah, this person lost or whatever. Okay. I've heard all of that shit. Okay. So legit, it's like, okay, you don't know what is real or what it isn't. Okay. Even with the news, and you could pick how many stories on the news, and I mean, is it real or is it not? But what is it meant to do? It's meant to cause that same energy, that discombobulated energy, that there are things that are not peaceful. It's supposed to be dramatic, which is why it's so natural for you. Maybe not now, maybe you've evolved past that, but maybe a former identity of you, it was just so natural to be dramatic and to be yelling and fighting if the slightest thing happened in the 3D. Oh, but you meditated all yesterday, but today someone cut you off in traffic and now you pissed and you called 10 of your homies to vent about it. Is that godly? Is that godly? No, but that's earthly, right? That's part of the earthly matrix. So when we talk about things such as like, being in the God state, okay, motherfuckers can get that misconstrued. Okay, they can get that misconstrued because it's like, oh, I'm walking around saying love and light, and you're like a monk, and you're like anointing people's foreheads. Like, no, that's not the God state. I mean, if you're into that, sure, go ahead and do it. But the God state is being in true neutral and maintaining it. Just like there's this story, and I know that I've told it before. Okay. And it has something to do with it's like a parable or some shit. And it's some dude, and like, they're like, oh, your son, is going to be drafted to war or something, right? There was some war, and the guy's like, it happens, or whatever the case. And then so the neighbors were saying, oh man, that's terrible. Like, your son is going to go into this war. And the guy's like, it is what it is. And then so the son was riding a horse and fell off the horse. Then something happened to him. He got injured, so he wasn't able to go to the war. And then they were like, oh wow, like that's great that your son was able to, not go to the war, but it's unfortunate that he had to get injured in order to not go to the war. And the guy was like, it is what it is. And then it's like something happened, and like the horse, like whatever. I'm just going off of, it's something, it's around those lines. Don't quote me on it. But then something happened, and then they came into like a large sum of money because of whatever. And then the guy was like, it is what it is. Like, wow, it's so fortunate that you came into this large sum of money. So the point is, no matter what would happen that the neighbors would say was like fortunate or unfortunate, the dude remained unshakable. And he's just like, it is what it is. And things just kept happening, but he's like, it is what it is. Okay. So that is the God state. It's not that you're sitting there meditating with mala beads and all this shit. It's just, you're kind of like, the 3D is what it is. But who am I? I am above and beyond the 3D, because I'm the one who is in observance of the 3D and everyone and everything around me. For I am the Lord and there is none else. And if I choose to perceive the 3D as favorable, and I choose to continue to see it as favorable, it's just going to be favorable, because that's who I am. So that's why you can have different motherfuckers looking at the same situation. They're all going to take something different out of it. You see what I'm saying? There's some story, I don't know if it's like an old wives' tale or whatever, like, but there's basically a story about this dude, right? And he was, there were two dudes, and they shared a room in like the hospital, okay? And they were both like gravely ill or something. And so one dude had the bed by the window, okay? And the other dude had the bed next to him. So the dude that had the bed by the window, because they were bedridden, they couldn't move, right? He would talk to this other guy. He'd be like, wow, I see like all these beautiful people and the sunshine, and like I see like there's a fruit market over here, and there's like, kids playing jump rope, whatever the fuck he was saying. I don't know what the fuck he was saying, okay? He was talking like so amazingly about what he was seeing outside the window. So the dude in the bed next to him was like, fuck this. Like, he was pissed because he's like, why does he get to see all of that amazing shit, right? But this other dude wasn't by the window. So he fucked with the dude's medicine or something. Like, he like fucked with his, I don't know, he unplugged his IV, whatever. I don't know. The dude purportedly, and don't quote me on this, okay? Because I don't know, you know, things, the word of mouth, I mean, it's like, who knows how the story actually goes, but purportedly this dude offed the dude by the window so that he would get transferred to be at that bed to look out the window to see all these beautiful things, right? Because he was on his deathbed, so the only way he would get to experience life was to look at, you know, whatever. So that's why he did what he did to the other guy, okay? Deleted his ass. And so when they moved him to the bed by the window, what this dude saw was the building, right? The hospital. It was next to another building. And all he saw was a brick wall. And there was nothing going on. So the other dude, right? The one that had the perspective, he was looking out the window at the same brick wall, but his imagination, he was like, wow, like it's so beautiful, it's so amazing. He was in his imagination to the point where this other dude, right? Because he was in a different mentality. He's like, what the fuck? Why does he get to experience this and I don't? He offs this dude, and then boom, he gets a brick wall. You see what I'm saying? That's why, so it's like perspective. I don't know where that came from. That was the most random story that I don't even know where that came from. Maybe that resonated with someone. Okay. But that's the point of it being all about perspective. This is why you can look at the same thing as your friend is looking at and you see two different things. Because it's coming from you and it's immediate. So when someone says that the 3D is delayed, there's nothing delayed. Now you're opening a whole other can of worms, my dog. You're saying the 3D is delayed. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen if you, as the Lord, and there is none else, is saying some shit is delayed, then guess what? It's going to be delayed. So then you have the expectation, you dug the ditch that there has to be a time delay when shit can shift instantaneously. But you expect there to be a delay because you've been programmed. Even in the manifestation community, motherfuckers say this. Like, oh, 3D is a delayed reaction. No, it isn't, because you can flip the way that you perceive a situation right in this fucking moment. You can do that. You can do that right now. So how is it delayed? And that's how you know you shifted. When you naturally start looking at the 3D as everything is working in your favor, everything is perfect and beautiful and magical, like dude in the bed saying all these wonderful things about the window. You're like, man, I'm seeing all this greatness. So that's what you're gonna get, and you're gonna get it immediately. So stop expecting a fucking delay, because you're creating the delay when there is no delay, because all time is now. So how can there be a delay? You see what I'm saying? So when you focus on the time, or when you oh my God, you call the homie to talk about the person who didn't text you back right away, and then you start venting on it, and then you start creating, they didn't text you back right away, they don't give a fuck about you. What do you think they're doing? They must be up to something. What did that create right there? That created what you just said it did, because you are the Lord and there is none else. Now, not all thoughts manifest, of course, because it's your state of being really that manifests. So if you have a negative thought or two, like whatever, it is what it is, but no thought, again, is negative or positive. It's just a matter of like how you perceive it, okay? But if you're dominantly focused on the 3D circumstance that you are perceiving that you don't like, you're just going to continue to get more of it. Not because there's a delay, not because the 3D is solid, not because of anything other than you. Hey, Emerald, welcome. Tasha, how do you stay positive with elites running the world? If I were you, I would get that terminology out of my vocabulary. Who says that anyone's elite? You are the Lord and there is none else. You are elite and you run your own universe. So that's how you stay positive. You are elite. You are the only thinker. You are the only observer. You're the only perceiver. No one has power over you unless you decide that they do. That's exactly what it is. No one runs anything. You run it. But we've been programmed. Thank you for the roses. But we've been programmed. I would say pretty much everyone in here, has been programmed that there's always a higher authority, whether it's like an official government or like a religion or priest or whoever, right? Like we're programmed. Okay, oh, the teacher knows more. Oh, the parent knows more. Oh, the caregiver knows more. No, you know more than anyone in your reality, because you're the only one experiencing your reality. So you know everything better than anyone else possibly could. That's exactly what it is. Exactly. So I don't know how long I was doing that sermon. That sermon went, I don't know where the fuck it went. I never know where the fuck it goes. I'm all that is. Exactly. Woohoo. Getting married, any advice? What do you want your marriage to look like? I would focus on that. That's what I would focus on. And congratulations, by the way. But my advice would be, what does your ideal relationship look like to you? What does your ideal marriage look like to you? And then you concentrate on that, and fuck what anyone else says, fuck what society says, fuck what anyone says. This is how you want your ideal marriage to look like. That's how you picture your partner and yourself in that relationship to your ideal. So be certain of, things that you want it to look like, and concentrate on that and keep going. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. So, Um, yeah, I don't know what we've been talking about right now. I just went off on this thing. This is why I'm like, okay. Um, the last live I did was like, I couldn't even believe it was 3 hours. I was like, what is going on? What is up, Ashley? Welcome. So I just, you love my sermons. Ooh, I love that you love my sermons, Jane. I love that you always contribute like so wonderfully in the comment section because you be on point with that earth energy. Hell yeah, I love it. You don't scroll much on TikTok anymore because you don't want to absorb any limiting beliefs. Well, you don't have to. Oh, I'm your therapist. Thank you. You're your own therapist, okay? I appreciate the compliment, but you know yourself better than I do. So if you're enjoying the content, that's what matters. Here's the thing with scrolling on TikTok or any type of, news or social media. It's like, if you have the perception that it's going to trigger you or, fuck with your emotions, that's what I would say to get rid of. You can just start saying, I'm immune to anything that is not in resonance with who I am, right? Like you can say that. I heal a lot of people. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. But healing starts within you. So if it's something that I say that inspires you to like take a leap of faith in that direction, all the better, but you're healing yourself, if it triggers you every 5 seconds, you want to stop saying that things trigger you because you're only perpetuating that story. So what you would want to do is start saying, that you're, like I said, immune to things that are not in resonance with you, because ideally anyone could, walk around and just anything could occur and they're like, okay, like I said with that story about that guy and his son where he like all this like craziness kept happening and the guy was like, it is what it is. That's the ideal. That's the God state, right? Because the God state is not triggered. The God state is just like neutral no matter what. So that's what I recommend, is just start saying that, every day I become less triggered, or, you know what I mean? I'm immune to XYZ, ABC. You don't want to keep saying that you do OCD rituals to erase what you hear. I mean, if it makes you feel good to do a ritual, then you can definitely continue that. But I would just start with the intention, I'm immune to everything that is not in alignment with who I truly am, which is divine perfection, period. That's what I would go with. And you want to keep saying that. If like, if looking at social media or anything is triggering, because I hear this a lot, like a lot of times, like when people bring up, news stories, right? Like, and they'll just bring it up to talk about it. And like, I can see and sense that they're like affected by that story. I'm like, okay. And like, I'm not affected by any show, movie, news story. I'm not, like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I was never like that, but it is possible to evolve into a version of you where it's like, okay, that's on the news. Everything in my universe is perfect. So now what? And you won't be affected by it. Like, or even like a movie, like it's so weird because I'm really into horror movies, and I know people that they can't even look at it. Like they can't even look at like creepy pictures or like, and I'm so into that. I'm like, I love it. Like I don't jump during horror movies. I don't get scared. They don't creep me out. I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Right? But it's about perception. And the perception is that I'm looking at it the way that ideally you'd want to look at like a 3D circumstance. Like that's happening, but I'm the observer of it. I'm not in it. So if anything, no matter if your 3D looks like a comedy, something satirical, a psychological thriller, or a horror movie, I mean, I don't know, like what anyone got going on in the 3D. You want to take yourself out of the equation and you want to observe it. That's just a movie. Okay, that's what's happening. But you know what? My awareness is aware that that's just a movie. So if I don't want to continue watching this movie, what do? I change to a different movie, right? You just change the scene. That's all you have to do, you know? That's just what it is. Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. The news is like predominantly fear factor. It's like supposed to cause fear, in my opinion. Like there's never anything positive on the news. Like there really isn't. It's just like, okay. Whoo. Love you too, girl. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I mean, nothing I'm glad you like the movie analogy, Sam. Nothing ideally should be triggering you because you're the one who's aware that you're looking at the thing. Are you the 3D? It's like kind of like yes and no. This is why a lot of stuff in manifestation is contradictory, or it seems contradictory, because it's like, okay, so you're creating and then you are everyone and everything, but you're also the observer of your own creation. So it's like if I'm drawing a picture, whatever the fuck, right? And I only know how to draw stick figures. Okay, I can't draw for shit. It's cool. I don't care. I'm not an artiste. But let's say I'm drawing stick figures. I like, yeah, that's my creation. I'm making it. But if I don't like it at any moment, I can just shred the paper. I can erase it. I could, you know what I mean? I could add something here because it's like, it's my creation. I'm forming it, but I'm still aware that I'm the one creating it. So that's how I would ideally look at the 3D, you know? I'm just waiting for the puzzle piece. I'm gonna try to keep this live a little shorter because the last one was like 3 hours, and I said, oh my god, I'm like, how was I talking for 3 hours? And I didn't even realize, but you know, time and space don't exist. So that is what we are doing. How is everyone doing this evening, morning, nighttime? I don't know where everyone is. I typically ask that, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever time it is where you're at, it's the perfect time to be in the chat. So just remember, key rule of manifestation, you're always manifesting. There is no time. If you're focused on a time delay or a 3D circumstance, you're just giving that power. You know what I mean? Why do I think people have such a hard time just letting themselves accept the reality that they want? That's an interesting question, but every person is different. So there are people that they just allow reality, you know, what they want to occur. If someone is not doing that, they might believe that it's not possible. They might believe it's too good to be true. They might have a deep subconscious belief that's running in the background that's contradicting the reality that they want. It could be even something as like you have to work hard for money. So then if money is given to them out of nowhere, like what they would consider to be a large sum, they'd be like, oh my God, how did this happen? Because they were programmed that you have to work for it, right? So they can't accept that money would just be given to them. And that could be obviously for any area, but I would say it's because they have likely a subconscious belief. They think it's too good to be true, or they think that what did they do to earn this? What did they do to deserve this? People that tend, in my opinion, people that don't accept the reality that they want as a given tend to have self-concept issues. So self-concept is not about like, oh, you look in the mirror, you're happy with what you see. Self-concept is deeper than that. Self-concept is like, you know, do I know that I trust myself? Do I know that I can have whatever I want? Do I know that I'm worthy and deserving of living the life of my dreams, right? That's what self-concept is. So I would say it's more of like a self-concept thing, whether it came from society or their upbringing or just a program that they picked up along the way. That's why it tends to be self-concept. can I talk about the O method and why it's said to be a powerful way to manifest? I mean, everyone's perspective of that is different, but for the way I see it, the O method, they say it's powerful because you're actually doing like a physical action and it's building up energetic momentum, and then at the point of the release, it's like okay, you would ideally think of the thing that you want, okay, and then and you would keep continuing with whatever it is that you're doing, and then at the point of release, you either put the visual or you say the affirmation or you think about the thing that you want, and it's like your mind and your body are in congruence because your body is like, it builds up all this energy, so your body is in alignment with it as well, and at that point you're feeling pleasure, so now your body is associating pleasure with that thing that you're manifesting. At least that's my opinion. But it really depends on the person, because someone can manifest without doing that. Someone can manifest without doing any method at all and it'll still work. It depends on the person. You know what I mean? Everyone is different. You don't need a method. You are the method. And the method is just being in the awareness of this is what it is. Okay? The ditches are dug. I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna allow things to flow. You can listen to sleep tapes and subliminals if you want to, but again, it depends on the person. Like the technique, sleep tapes, subliminals, affirmations, visuals, it all depends on you. Like if you feel good, if it's bringing you peace, if you're just content doing those things, then thank you, username. You can do that, but you don't need to, okay? So the idea with the sleep tapes, which makes sense from like a scientific standpoint, if you want to call it that, is that your conscious mind is shut off when you're sleeping, okay? So let's say you're listening to affirmations, and the affirmations are specifically what you want, okay? Then your conscious mind is not going to be there to reject them, okay? But I have heard stories where people are listening to sleep tapes, even if it's their own voice, and they'll have nightmares because the subconscious mind is rejecting those affirmations. Now, this doesn't always happen, but I do just want to say from both ends. So I have heard stories where it's been beneficial for people. I've heard stories where it's not beneficial for people. So what happens if you start having nightmares, if you're listening to a sleep tape, even if it's your own affirmations in your own voice, your subconscious mind is rejecting the idea, or it's cleaning it out, or it's like there's a mismatch, right? It's saying, okay, well, this is active here. This is active. Like, what do we do? And it's signaling a threat. So I would maybe change the affirmations, or you don't need to listen to sleep tapes. But typically when I've heard those instances, number one, it's the meaning you assign it, okay? But the logical scientific reason is that your subconscious mind is rejecting it because it's so far from what your subconscious has in its belief system. Okay, but you can assign the meaning that every time you have a nightmare, it means the old story is leaving. I mean, it's up to you, but it really, I've heard different angles of that. Okay, some people, for the sleep tapes, it works wonderful. They're like, wow, I listened to sleep tapes for like 3 nights, and all of a sudden everything, fell into place. Some people that doesn't happen. The same thing with subliminals, okay? I've heard stories about people having nightmares to subliminals. I've heard stories about people listening to a subliminal one time and then they're like, oh wow, like everything shifted. So it depends on you, but ideally you would want to go into anything with the intention that it's going to benefit you and serve you well, no matter what it is. So it doesn't matter. Like technically, the affirmation or the affirmation, oh my God, cut water talking. The technique, that's what I was looking for. The technique is you. You can just decide this is what it is, and don't contradict it, don't think about it again, and the thing can happen. But the ego, a lot of times the ego is looking for a solution. Well, logically, I can't just decide I want something, then it magically appears, so I think I have to do something. And that's where the technique comes into play. It's like giving the ego a sedative. Okay, ego, yeah, we're saying some affirmations. It's already done, but here you go. And the ego is like, oh, okay, yeah, now I feel like I'm doing something. That's all it is. It's a sedative for the ego, so you don't need to do anything. There were things, listen, for me, my manifestations have come through when I'm like, and I just visualize, and I'm listening to my trance music, and I'm having fun. And then the exact scenes will play out. The exact scenario, it'll just happen. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not forcing myself to visualize. I'm just having fun. I'm jamming to music. I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, woo, this is good. This shit is legit. For me, is that manifestation? Yes. But is it something that I'm forcing myself to do? No, I'm in the moment. So that can be looked at as meditative. So if you say every time you go to the gym, 10 grand hits your bank account, then that's what it's going to be. You enjoy it and it's serving you. If that's a belief. So it could be anything. You make the rules. There's no set point for everyone. Ooh, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. Woohoo. Oh, you purchased the 30-minute session. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely email me and we will be in touch. I'm looking forward to it as well. So you have to keep in mind, there is no magic formula. There's no magic technique. What works for person A might or might not work for person Z. Because everyone is different. Everyone is having their own experience, okay? And this is why, like, when I see in comments of, like, Reddit or, like, YouTube or, like, TikTok or whatever, and they're talking about manifestations, we're like, what affirmations did you use? What specific ones? It's like, that worked for them. It may or may not work for you. For me, I'm a visualizer. So an affirmation, like, sure, if there is really something that I'm like, okay, I'll just make a quick statement, boom, that's it. I'm not going to sit there and like memorize like a paragraph of affirmations. Like, my ass way too lazy to do that. And you don't need to do all that. But there's also people that they cannot visualize. So does that mean they can't get what they want? No, that means that they either decide or they say an affirmation or they script it out or they listen to a sleep tape or whatever. Everyone is different. So there's no, it's like when someone is saying, I manifested this in 3 days, and then you try the same technique and then you don't get it in 3 days, then that can set you up for disappointment. Right? So it's like you don't want to compare your journey to anyone else's just because you're not them. You don't know how they think. They don't know how you think. Like, you are an individual. So what I would suggest is, if you're comfortable with affirmations, you don't need to make a long script of them. Just boom, one sentence that's easy to remember. If something comes up that triggers you in 3D, deep breathe, shake it out. Like I said, like the zebra running from the lion, and then it shakes off the energy. Okay? That's it. You just don't pay attention to what you don't want. You don't perpetuate it. And then here's something interesting. I've been asked this question so many times, which I might as well address it. It's like, people will ask me, right? The people that I work with personally. And they're like, okay, but what about when my friends ask me about so-and-so situation? I'm like, well, I don't know how you interact with your friends. Okay, because and I understand, because this is reasonable, right? Because if, let's say, your best homie and you talk a lot, and then you're manifesting marriage with a person, but you and this person are not speaking at the moment, and the homie knows that, right? It's like, you don't want to lie to them because they're your friend, but you also don't want to perpetuate the negative story. So I can get that. Now, if the homie is into manifestation, you just, that's what you do. That's the conversation. You're like, well, this is what's going on. So we're going to go full delulu together. But you can just say, you know what? I'm actually like calm and relaxed about this situation. I'm so calm about it that, you know what? I know it's just going to work out. Let's talk about something else. That's it. You don't need to get into it, but you don't want to go and be on this manifestation journey, which you're just on. Okay. And then be like, yeah, you know, this is what's happening. We're happily married, blah, blah, blah. And then like you see a post that you don't like, and then you immediately, you text everyone, you call everyone, you like, this is what happened. Do you see how that's contradictory? And I know it can be triggering, right? But you don't want to reanimate the old story, okay? Because remember, the 3D is neutral. So if you see something that you don't like, whether it's in person, on social media, a text message that you don't like, you see something you don't like, and then you were manifesting, yeah, I'm good, but oh no, this happened. Then you call your friend to vent about it. That's still, you're entertaining that story. And I know it can be very tempting for the reasons that I just said, because we're programmed to like look at drama and be like excited by it in some twisted way. But that is where you have to be the true neutral God state. It's in those moments. It's in those moments where you have to be mindful. Okay, something happened in the 3D. I'm judging it as something I don't like, but I'm the only awareness. So I don't like it. I don't like this movie. I'm going to turn on this movie instead. You look over there. And I know you, whatever, if you want to shout, cry, scream, use a punching bag. If you're feeling triggered, go for a run, go for a walk, whatever you need to do, light up a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Then you do that, but you calm yourself down and you don't perpetuate the story that you don't want. And if the friend calls you and asks what's going on with so-and-so, you don't need to lie to them. You're like, you know what? I know I'm going to end up with them anyway, so whatever's happening now, it doesn't matter. That's not a lie. It isn't. If they're into manifestation, you still wouldn't want to open up that old story, but you know, you could be more open with them. You know, it's a different type of thing, but by people asking what's going on with so-and-so, whether it's a friend or a family member, co-worker that, you know, they want the tea and shit, you're just like, you know what? I know I'm going to end up with them, so it doesn't matter. But in that moment where you feel triggered and you're tempted to call the homie and complain, remember who you are being. Now, guess what you're doing in that moment, because the only moment is now. And let's say they sent you a text message saying that they hate you, they can't stand you, they're done with you forever, they don't want to hear from you ever again. That happened 2 seconds ago. That's funny. Well, we're ending up together anyway, so it doesn't matter. You let it go. You don't sit and dwell in it like a fucking dirty diaper. Like, no. Why would you do that? That shit stink. That's what you're doing. You're reanimating a shit story every time you, even in your mind, if you dwell on it. And this, for a lot of individuals, and it's understandable. It's understandable to be in that, oh, here we go with the puzzle piece. I'm not a robot. You're a robot. Stop asking me if I'm a robot. Maybe I am a robot. So I understand from like the perspective where you're like, okay, you're manifesting this thing. And especially if it's a relationship, that can be the most triggering, right? Like for a lot of people, you know, it can be very triggering because there's personal feelings involved. There's passion, all that, right? But it's those moments where you have to look at the 3D and be nonchalant. Nonchalance will get you further than spiraling, than complaining, than stalking, doing drive-bys outside motherfucker house. that is what is going to bring you that peace. It's how you respond in the moment where it counts, because when everything is fine, okay, what's happening? Nothing. But in those moments, and then you have to be mindful of not assigning a negative meaning to the thing that happened. So let's say you're manifesting a person, right? Even though you're not, you're already with them, but whatever. Let's just go with that, because that's the talk that we all know, right? You're like, okay, so you're manifesting a person. There's no contact for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. All of a sudden they text you and then they're like, hey, and then you're like, but I've been manifesting marriage, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, like, that's not what I want. What are you doing right there? Is that the exact thing that you want? No, it isn't. Not on paper, 3D. But then if you go and assign that a meaning, then you go complain to everyone, and you're like, but I'm manifesting marriage, and all they did was text me, hey, what you put a negative spin on something that you could have said, oh, hey, their next text message is going to be, meet me at the altar. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful whenever something happens in the 3D that you don't crash the fuck out right there and think that everything went to shit just because it's neutral. Everything is neutral until you, the observer, come along and you assign a meaning to it. So if it's like, okay, yeah, you're manifesting $50 million. All of a sudden you get a check for like 50 grand. Are you gonna be like, oh, fuck this, the manifestation failed? Or are you gonna be like, yo, hell yeah, 50 grand. I'm in alignment with money. I still have my 50 million, but I'll take the 50 grand too. That's the difference. That's, you have to be mindful of it. When you see these things occurring in the 3D that are in the sector of the thing you're manifesting, that is where you want to be extra mindful not to go into the old story or go into that complain mode where you're calling the homies and you're like, oh, well, you know, I was manifesting this, but this showed up. Because then you're just going right back to where you started from. And the thing is about shifting identity. You're not shifting the 3D, you're shifting the way that you are perceiving the 3D in every moment. So I don't know where that just went. No clue, but I mean, it doesn't matter. So how is everyone doing tonight? What's going on? Hydrated. Yeah, I'm hydrated by cut water. Sherry, what is up? Glad to see you. Not a lot is going on, vocalist. Well, you know what? A lot is going on energetically. Everything that you want is coming together, even if you don't see it right now. The cut water I'm having is a mango margarita. Nothing has meaning. Exactly. Nothing has meaning until you, the only observer, thinker, perceiver, assign it a meaning. Ooh, money already in the bank. Hell yeah, Sherry. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yes. Oh, Long Island iced tea. I was drinking Long Island iced teas before I was even supposed to be drinking them. You know what I'm saying? And my day is going so well. I laid out by the pool a little bit. I got my lashes done, and now I'm sipping a cut water. Long Island iced teas, you want to know how crazy I am, how like not into 3D I am, is that I used to think that Long Island iced tea was just vodka mixed with iced tea, and I had no clue that there's actually like 7 different liquors and like a spit of soda. I was like, and I would have one, And I wasn't even supposed to be in the club, and I would have one, and I thought right? See, placebo effect. I know I said this on another live. I know I did, because I'm having deja vu. Woo, I just jumped the timeline. But I remember thinking it tasted like iced tea. So I would like chug it really fast, because to me, I'm thinking it's just iced tea with a little bit of vodka. So I thought that that's what it was, and I would have one, and I would be on the speaker dancing, like I would be up in the air, I would be on the floor, I'd be doing the most. And I didn't know what it was for like probably a good 2 years. I had no idea what a Long Island iced tea really was. It's all good though, you know. It shaped me to who I am today. I had no clue what that was though. I didn't even know that popcorn was actually corn. Like, I really just found that out recently too. I didn't know popcorn was corn. I thought it was an entirely different entity. Just like I thought iced tea and hot tea came from two different entities. I don't know, like, because I don't pay attention, because I don't really care. I'm just like, okay, like, I don't. If anyone has advice on like 3D, that's why I'm like, when someone asks me what should I do in the 3D, I'm like, please do not ask me that, because I have no clue. If you're gonna feel lighter, go ahead and do it. If you're gonna feel constricted, if you're gonna feel nervous, don't do it. That's all I say. Because like, I don't know. Like for me, I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is cool. I do enjoy the mango cut water though. Mango margarita. Yes, that's right. That's right. They make me feel good, so I keep them around. And the thing with them is that like I can only have one. Like I can't have more than one, because my body is just like, nope. Like my body says no, you're good with one. And one is, this ain't even like, I'm not even halfway done with this, and I'm already like lit on fire. So I'm like super lightweight with 3D things. It's all good though. I see dance battles. I don't think anyone would even want to see me in a dance battle, because I don't know how to dance for shit. Like I just kind of sway, you know what I mean? I just kind of do this. I don't really, either that or I grind, or I used to. I don't anymore, but like I remember in high school, like at the high school dances, it was like grinding. That's all, that's all we fucking did. It wasn't even dancing. Ooh, Cayman Jacks. Hell yeah. Yes, Sherry, join me. Of course. Everyone join the club. I mean, if you're not into that, get some water, get some tea or coffee, whatever beverage you're into. You know, we don't discriminate around here. All beverages are welcome. All chewable things are welcome. You know, we do everything over here, you know. But yeah, I'm super lightweight. Like I'm super lightweight. I don't be hanging with none of that. But the cut water for me, I'm like, you know what? We good. Ooh, you're drinking a latte. Nice. I love lattes. I love lattes mixed with some amaretto, to be to be quite honest. How about Lost and Found? What is that? I don't know what that is. Tastes like Fruit Loop. What tastes like Fruit Loop? There's so many things going on in the chat. I don't even know. How do you speed up getting something by not focusing on the timing of it? Because that's just going to create more time. Someone asked, how do we come out of the waiting period? You stop thinking that you're in the waiting room and you start living in the living room. Bro, that was fucking wild. Why did I just say that? I think that made sense. But if you think that you're waiting for something, that means that you're not living in the moment, or anyone, right? Like it means that you're in that feeling of waiting, when it's like, you know, that the ditch is dug, and you're just, whatever you're doing, it's just bringing you there, right? So you want to have fun. You want to live. Like, we're here to live. We're not here to wait for desires. And this is why, Like if you're perceiving the 3D is not moving, if you're perceiving the 3D has to have a time delay, if you're perceiving that there's waiting, then you're not living, right? You're not enjoying. So you find something like this is it's like when I first came into the manifestation community, right? Because I'm impatient, because I'm a fucking Aries. So I always want my shit before I even know I want my shit, right? But the thing is like, people would say, just live your life, just have fun. Ooh, thank you for the gift. That's so cute. I love it. When people would say, just live your life, just have fun, just do you, it's like, I couldn't compute that. I'm like, but I want what I want so I can do the thing with that now, whatever it was. And I really didn't understand. So I get where you're coming from with that, because if you feel like you're waiting and you want it now, if I'm searching for the movie, right, like I said earlier, I'm not watching the movie because I'm searching for it. So waiting is kind of like that same energy, right? It's like, so I know the ditch is dug. I know that whatever is feeling good to me in the moment, in this case is sipping some cut water. Okay. Does that means that my $20 million in the duffel bag in cash, not monopoly money, like US dollars, it's done. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for my 20 million, right? Like it's there. There's nothing I need to do. It's just done. So what am I doing now? Am I harping on it? No, I'm just, if the thought comes to my mind, yeah, I have $20 million in cash in a duffel bag. That's it. I'm not waiting for it. I'm just chilling. Whatever's going on right now is going on right now. How can you reminisce on a past happy memory if now that all that exists is because you're recalling that to you now? You're summoning that to you now. That's how. So it doesn't matter if it happened last week, two years ago, 2 weeks ago. You have that in your awareness and you're bringing it to the forefront of your awareness now. That's how you can reminisce. Yes. Now, I mean, if you really want to get into it, there is no memory and there is no future. It's just, what are you summoning into your awareness now? Okay, yes, maybe the physical vessel has experienced certain things that you would call a memory. But if you were to just say, no, that never happened, and you really cleared the cache of your awareness, bro, it never happened. There's a lot of things that I'm like, man, that never happened. And I just go with it. Like, what are you talking about? That never happened. And I'm saying this in my mind. I'm like, that never happened. And guess what? It cannot be brought into your awareness, because if there's something that you enjoy, right? Okay, so I enjoyed my physical vessel lived through sipping Long Island iced teas, dancing on the speakers at the clubs when I was not supposed to be in the clubs or drinking, but I was doing that because, why not? So if I want to summon that now, yeah, cool. I'm reliving that. If I want to summon, oh man, there's a duffel bag, $20 million cash on my doorstep, right? Even if my physical vessel didn't experience it yet, it's coming into my awareness now. So it's happening now. So I'm opening the duffel bag and I'm seeing stacks of fucking hundreds. I'm like, oh my God. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, higher self. I know. Yeah. Ooh. So it's like you can only bring something to your attention now. So if you say this never happened, that's not going to happen. Ooh, I like that gift, whatever that is. Thank you. Your paper crane. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. So you can only bring something to your awareness now. Even if you were to say, this is what I did yesterday, where is yesterday? It's now in your awareness. What am I going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow is now in your awareness. There is no time. That's why time doesn't exist. And you know, some interesting thing too is that there's like a theory I heard. I don't know if it comes from, ooh, thank you. I love that. Ooh, that's so cute. Love it. Um, oh yeah, we got a little electric guitar. Fuck yes. I have a lot of I have a lot of electric guitars. I have a few air instruments that I like. I collect them, and sometimes I just play the guitar. They're made of air though. But there's this thing that it kind of makes sense to me, right? It's like, since all time is now, and since multiple versions of you exist in the now, if you get like an inspired action to do something, it can be seen as like a future version of you calling you to that timeline, right? Because there's only you, right? Because no one else exists. You're the only thinker, perceiver, observer. So when you have like, let's say you have an urge to like, I don't know, get a haircut, go to another country, something drastic, something that like it's like out of character. It's because the version of you is already living that, and it's calling you to commingle with it. Okay. So this is like, I agree with this to an extent, because if you've seen the movie Interstellar, it's kind of, I love air instruments. I have my air guitar right here, and I have my air piano. Yep, I do. To transport them around, it's like crazy, but I mean, somehow I manage. So it's like, if you've seen the movie Interstellar, right, where, spoiler alert, but when he's in the Tesseract, the 5D cube, and he's trying to like communicate with his daughter, and that time is happening, it's all happening at once, right? But it's just from the vantage point of the 3D, we perceive time as linear. But he knocks the book off the shelf, and then she's like, whoa, that's weird. But then her adult self is like, wait a second, I remember when this happened. It's like all timelines are there at once, okay? So it's like, you can think of it like your future self, like let's say you 2 weeks from now, is already a different person than you are now. And that version of you is beckoning you to come meet them. You see what I'm saying? Because time is not linear. So your identity, where you're in the dream relationship, where you are a multimillionaire, where you are in the dream home, where all of that is playing out, it already exists. So you you don't want to think of things logically. If you would love a personal session, yes, you can definitely email me, of course. Looking forward to hearing from you. Ooh, someone sent a goat. I love it. I love goats. Hell yeah. Oh my God, the guitar and the microphone. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Thank you. Yo, that is, because I said air instrument. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. So it's like the future, quote, quote, future versions of you are living that now. And in my opinion, that's what's guiding you to perform the inspired action, right? Because that version of you is already living it. So it's like, okay, well, I'm existing now, right? Because, bro, they're a bit, oh, let me tell you some wild shit. There were a few times, I remember when I was like a little kid, okay, I would talk to this person, okay? And this person looked exactly the way that I look now, okay? And I mean, I not that they would appear in the room, but like I saw them in my mind. And this person was always there, weirdly giving me advice when I was a little kid, like in a way that like a little kid could understand, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is weird, right? Like I always saw me as I look now. But like as a little kid, I didn't, of course, as a little kid, I didn't look anything like this, but I always saw this figure that looked like me, like all black, like everything, like, and just very kind of like mystical and like whimsical and like weird, right? But this person would like appear out of nowhere sometimes. Like if I was upset or if I was angry or whatever, this person would appear in my mind. And now I'm like, yo, that was me going back to that version, because all timelines are happening now. And I was talking to myself as a little kid. So the version that I see of my future self, who's also talking to me, I'm like, that shit is legit too. Because that person looks like me, obviously, but only that the lifestyle is I wouldn't say extremely different than it is now, but it's amazing. And this person now is talking to me. So I'm like, yo, there's some shit with that. And of course, that's just my experience. If you don't believe in like, you know, like all of that, I mean, but for me, I have had that experience because from a little kid, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, who is this person like talking to me? Like, it was so weird. But then I'm like, it was me. Just like in Interstellar, it was like Matthew McConaughey, he pressed the book in the bookshelf because that was the only way he was able to communicate, like through the veil or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then his daughter picked up the information and she's looking at the watch, right? Symbolism of time. Time doesn't exist. So it's like the version of you that you see in the quote future, your ideal, already exists, and they're leading you to that lifestyle right now. But you have to be open to it. Because remember, if the only one is you, there can't be anyone else, right? Like, even if, let's say, you're in resonance with, like, you know, this is not for everyone, but, like, if some people are in resonance with, like, a religious deity or, like, a god or a goddess or something, you know what I mean? Like, there's still an aspect of you that you resonate with them. There's still an aspect, okay? So it's like, even those figures, if you are into that, and of course it is a belief system, your belief in that is what's making it real. So if someone is saying, and I've seen videos like this where people are like, Archangel Michael came to me in a dream, and I'm like, yeah, I believe that. I'm not knocking that, because their belief is that Archangel Michael, or pick whoever it is, okay? You know what I mean? It's like, that is you. That is an aspect of you that you're creating. So when people, and this is just my opinion, but when people go to like deities or like saints or angels, demons, whoever they resonate with, okay, gods, goddesses, they're, in my opinion, their ego mind is looking for comfort, and the ego cannot perceive comfort coming from within. So it wants to go to, okay, let me put my power in this saint or this god or this goddess or this deity. But you still have to have a common resonance with them, right? So it's like when the person pictures that god or that goddess or that deity, they're like, oh, okay, it's like a placebo effect. But there's still a resonance because that god or goddess or deity is you. They're you. Because if they weren't you, you couldn't have an awareness of being comforted by them. So if someone is like, oh yeah, I prayed to this, because I've done that, okay? And that's just my personal beliefs. Like, yes, I'm creating my own reality, but I'm aware that like, ooh, oh my God, that's so cute. Is that the tiny diny? Love it. So I'm like, even if I'm praying to whoever it is, and not in a religious way, even if I'm just talking to them, I'm having a conversation like, hey, what's up? Yes, I've gotten what I've wanted within 24 hours, less than that. Because, and I'll tell you why, and this is just my belief, okay? But let's say, I don't know, let's say, I don't want to, name who I resonate with, or, I don't want to project my beliefs onto anyone, but let's say you resonate with a deity who's this water bottle, okay? So you have the power within you, right? But sometimes the ego can be like, no, but I don't know, I'm doubting, I need to pray to a higher power, right? It's the ego. So the ego is soothed Because now you're saying, no, but it's okay. The magic water bottle got our back. And we're going to pray to this magical water bottle. And the ego is like, okay, yeah. And it calms it down. It's the same thing as like an affirmation. But you are the water bottle because you have a fucking awareness of it, or like you have the awareness of the deity. And you're like, I want this, and that. The ego shuts up. And that's why when someone prays to a deity or a god or goddess or saint or whatever it is that they're into, okay, I don't care what you're into. You could pray to a toilet bowl. I don't give a fuck. It's not my business, okay? But all that's doing is taking the ego out of the equation. And it's saying, yes, I resonate with this deity because I possess those qualities myself, okay? But I need to shut the ego up. And how I shut the ego up is say, okay, yeah, you know what? Let's call upon this person. Let's get help. So it's like the ego is in the it's in the ocean, right? Just like the story of Jesus and Peter walking on the water, right? When Peter is walking on the water, okay, and then he starts to like feel like he's sinking. All that is a metaphor for like the wind was boisterous, he started to sink. So what that's doing, that's doubt. So it's like, yeah, Peter starts sinking, which is coming from the ego. What the deity, what Jesus was doing, that was a deity, right? So he was like, no, but do you try, oh, ye of little faith, whatever that famous line is, right? You throw a life raft. And then the ego is like, oh, okay. Because the ego sometimes cannot possess the fact that you are creating your own experience, right? Because the ego is not designed to do that. So in the cases where you have prayed to a deity for help, all that's doing is like, I am the deity. I resonate with this type of energy, no matter who it is, okay? You're giving the ego the life raft so it doesn't sink. It's like, okay, the deity got this, cool. Because it's still, not because you're not doing the thing. It's because the ego is still looking to the outside. And it's perceiving the deity as separate from you, even though there's no separation. So it's like, and there's no separation between you and the ego, which is, this is why you know how to soothe the ego, send it a little life raft. The ego is like, oh, they're coming to rescue us. Okay. And then it shuts the fuck up and then shit moves. That's my opinion. That's my opinion of what praying to a deity or a saint or anything like that is. It's just, it's a placebo. It's a life raft when the ego is like, but how is this going to happen? Because I fucking done it with deities that I resonate with. I've done it. I've fucking had conversations just looking at pictures of them. And I'm like, just saying XYZ, ABC, whatever it is that I wanted. Bro, every time in less than 24 hours, I got what the fuck I wanted. Not because, like, you know what I'm saying? It comes from me, right? It always comes from you. But what that does, it shuts the ego up. It says, okay, something else is handling this. And if you need to do that, you know, if you're in resonance with that, then that's what you do. And it could be anything. That's how I use the water bottle example, because, you know, I know people work with different energies and, you know, things like that. But like, if you want fast results and you have a deity or a god or a goddess or an angel or a demon, whoever it is that you resonate with, that can help. That can help get the ego the fuck out the way. You give it a life raft. So-and-so is coming to help us. And the ego's like, that's what it does. It calms the ego down. Because I've been asked this too by some individuals. They're like, but if I'm the only thinker, I'm the only perceiver, I'm the only observer, that can be lonely because no one else exists but me, right? So it's like, for the ego to ponder that, it's like, no one exists but me. Oh, damn, that fucking sucks. So like, none of my friends are real. My family is not real. None of this is real. Right? But then if you look at it as like, you are everyone and everything, no one exists but you, but they're all you. So it's like a tree with all the branches and the fucking leaves and everything like that, and the roots going down under the ground, whatever the fuck it's doing, right? It's all you. So there is no one else, not in a way where it's lonely, where it's like, oh my God, like, but it's all a reflection. So if I'm saying I have the best husband ever, I have the best friends ever, my bank account is always overflowing and increasing, I enjoy the most perfect health, all my days are leisurely and full of luxury, and I enjoy every moment and I feel so good, right? I'm the only one. There's nothing else here. But because I'm saying that, those things that I summoned are like the fucking branches of the tree. So now my tree begins to blossom into all of that, which I just fucking said. I don't know where the fuck, bro. I'm not drunk. I'm a little tipsy. I don't know where did this go? Oh my God, I love that blue whale. Was that a sperm whale? Oh my God, I can't. I fucking laugh whenever I hear a sperm whale. Blue whale, sperm whale, I don't know. That's one, I love that. I love that one. I remember going as a little kid to the Museum of Natural History, the big whale, that exact whale in the museum in New York. Oh my God, I fucking remember that shit. I loved that room. I loved like everything about it because it was dark in there and it was peaceful. Oh, I love it. Whoever sent that, whoever sent that whale, you're getting all of you in here are getting a blessing right now, but whoever sent that whale, I hope you're still in here because I'm gonna send you some good ass fucking energy right now. To whoever sent that whale, I promise you, you are going to live the life of your dreams sooner than you think and better than you expect. And I'm gonna send you some energy right now. Thank you so much for sending me that blue whale. Thank you so much. You are living the life of your dreams. It's happening sooner and way better than you expected. You are living the life of your dreams. It is happening sooner and way better than you expected. You are now living the life of your dreams, and it is happening sooner and way better than you ever could have expected. Fuck yeah. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Anyway, so that was for you and everyone else. Whoever sent that whale, you made my fucking night. Ooh, you really did. Ooh, you felt that, Taylor? I'm glad you felt that. Yeah, I'm Reiki attuned. I be doing mystical things with my hands. I be doing some naughty things with my hands too, but it's all good. Have I seen the guy with the dolphins? I was seeing that on TikTok, where it was like, so they say, I think the story was that the dolphins captured him and forced him to build an underground city. Is that the one you're talking about? Because that's the only like recent dolphin thing that I'm aware of. Yes, I saw that too, and I was like, I mean, they say dolphins are smarter than like humanoids. So, I mean, to be honest, nothing would surprise me. But again, it's like, can I confirm or deny that even happened? Or if that guy is a real person, I can't. So it's like, you know, what can I do about it? You know, it's entertaining. It's like the whole thing with the Diddy shit, like, in the baby oil and all of that. Like, can I confirm or deny that any of that happened? No, like, it's entertainment. But they actually say that octopus are like super smart. Like that octopus are like, if there were no humans, like octopus would be ruling the world or some shit. So I don't know. I love all aquatic animals. I can't even think of an aquatic animal that I don't like. I love all of them. I fucking love them. They're all so adorable. Wow, I'm not even like halfway done with this cup water. This is fucking wild. But yeah, I think I'm gonna jump off here in a little bit because I don't know how long I've been talking. I don't want this to get like super, super, super long. The other one was 3 hours, and I don't know where the hell, I don't know where that time went, but time doesn't exist. Ooh, I love orca. Orcas are super smart too. I love sharks. I love sharks. I feel like I'm a shark sometimes. Is it good to manifest what you find achievable, or should you shoot for the crazy stuff? That's really up to you. Me personally, I would go full Delulu, but if you're unable to do that, then you can manifest in steps. But I would just be like, yo, this is what I want, period. That's it. And just don't think against it, you know? Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. You can email me for a personal session. Looking forward to chatting with you. You feel like you'd ever get notifications for my lives? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know anything about that. Like, I have no idea how TikTok does that notification thing. I don't think I get notification for people's lives anymore either. So I don't think I ever did, unless that's a setting. I have no idea, honestly. Unless they, after I was like forbidden to do live for like a week, like what is this? Like, it's like for 7 days. I'm like, what is this? The Ring? Like 7 days. I'm like, okay. So now when I come on here, I gotta be, you know, covered head to toe. Maybe next time I'll wear like a Druid priest outfit, unless that would be like too controversial or some shit. You randomly get notifications for the, I don't get any notification. I think my notification, I don't even know how my notifications are set up on my phone. Mostly my phone is on DND though. Like honestly, cause I don't know, or else it would constantly be going off. So they've been restricting and banning people you watch on live. Like, really? That's why. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, TikTok been acting weird ever since that. Ooh, love you too. I've noticed definitely a difference at, remember when that whole thing, this is like over a year ago, when they banned TikTok in the United States for like fucking 2 hours and everyone made a big deal of it. Ever since then, I noticed a difference, like in just like views and like shit like that, and like the number of hashtags that you could put for a video. So whatever they're doing, I don't know. I don't know, but I did notice a difference. So whoever bought TikTok out, and you know, I don't know, I really don't care either, because it is what it is, but they definitely changed something in it. Taylor, my YouTube is the same username as a TikTok. It's also linked in my bio if you want. Ooh, glad you found it. Holla. The algorithm is different. I don't know if I've really noticed that the algorithm is different. But I don't really like the videos that I watch. You want to know what I watch on TikTok? The only thing I watch on TikTok is like about quantum mechanics, or I'll watch like ASMR videos where they're like playing with wood or like making weird scratching sounds. So like that's what comes up for me. But I don't really look like, I don't know, I'm not like super into that. I don't even know what the fuck I do mostly. Mostly I like live in my mind, honestly. So I'm not really scrolling or doing anything like that. What do you think of doing inner child work? I think that's up to the person. I don't think that you need to do that to manifest, if that's what you're asking. If someone feels like that might serve them, you know, you can do that, but I don't think you necessarily need to. And, you know, it's interesting that you brought that up, because there have been like times that I've heard of, right, with like inner child healing, or like going to therapy or whatever. And like, you know, I don't have a degree in fucking nothing. so don't listen to me, this is for entertainment purposes, but I've heard that sometimes doing those things can actually be detrimental because it brings up a flood of unwanted memories. And then now the person is in those memories instead of really living in the moment. So it's kind of up to you. It's up to anyone, you know what I mean? If you feel like it would be beneficial, then sure, do that. But that's not really a manifestation thing. That's more of like a spiritual community thing. But I've had, you know, I haven't heard the greatest things about it. Like, I really haven't. Sometimes I've heard like positive stories, but I don't think it's necessary to do all that to manifest. You live in your mind, you're very observant, makes some people uncomfortable. Well, fuck them. You don't make anyone uncomfortable. Everyone is just in awe of how fabulous you are. They're like, wow, how does this person do it? Like, they're so fucking lit and amazing. That's how you reframe that narrative. Yeah, I mean, we all live in our mind though. Like, if you think about it, like, that's actually really good that you brought that up, because we all live in our mind, which is what I was saying earlier about the things about perception, right? You're welcome. You can have a 3D neutral circumstance appear, and you can have different individuals looking at it, and everyone will take away something different because you're living in your mind. Like, that's all that there is to it. Everyone is looking at things differently. So it's like your mind is unique to you. My mind is unique to me. Everyone's mind is different, right? So people looking at the same thing, because they're living in their mind, are all going to have a different perception of it. Like, this is a perfect example, right? Have you ever had like a friend be like, oh my God, this person is so hot, and it's like someone they're interested in, whatever, right? And then you look at this same person and you're like, okay, right? Like you see what I'm saying? Everyone has had that example. So it's like, is the person hot or are they not? It doesn't, the person is neutral, right? It's just like you perceive them as average and someone else perceives them as like, oh my God. So it's like, that's the perfect example how everyone has a different version of what they're looking at. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like that's the best example I can give, because that's how you can tell for damn Skippy that you're living in your mind. Someone's like, yo, look at this, I bagged this. They're like, oh, okay, like, you know what I mean? So that's how you can tell. It's all perception. It's all observation. Like, legit, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just what do you see out of that neutral thing? Are there any spiritual practices or teachings I find beneficial? I mean, that it's really kind of up to the observer. In my opinion, you don't need spiritual practices to manifest. Hey, Luna. Thank you for joining. You don't need to do anything to manifest. What's beneficial is how you feel while you're doing the practice. So let's say someone calls yoga a spiritual practice, okay? Like, I enjoy yoga, right? So you could call that a spiritual practice. I enjoy it. Is that helping me manifest or not manifest? No, it's just I enjoy it, so I do it. So if you enjoy something, no matter if it's considered spiritual or third dimensional, just do it, right? It's what makes you happy, but it has nothing to do with manifestation. So if you're finding benefit in anything, then you want to continue doing that, clearly, because you're finding benefit in it. But like, the spiritual community and the manifestation community tend to be kind of like interwoven, and it's not, because the law is the law. the law is neutral. So if you believe in spirituality, you're going to see evidence of spirituality. If you don't believe in spirituality, you're not going to see evidence of it. That's it, period, right? So someone who is an atheist is not going to see any evidence that there is a God, not in a person, not in a thing. They're just like, it just is, okay? Someone who's super religious is going to see God everywhere. They're going to see everything as a sign or whatever, right? So it really depends on how you are looking at the situation, whether it's spiritual or third dimensional. Like, okay, I enjoy drinking. That's a third dimensional activity. Oh, and the thing that I absolutely love this. People in the spiritual community say you shouldn't drink alcohol because it's spirits. And it's like a spirit is taking over your body or some shit. So if you believe that, yeah, that's what's going to play out for you, right? And that's why you can have some people, when they drink, they're a totally different person. Me, I'm just like, I drink to have fun. I don't care if it's a spirit or not a spirit. I'm having fun. So that's how it's going to play out for me. So it's like everything is up to the observer. But this is why, like, on my channel, like this channel, I talk about the law. The law is the law. The law is neutral. So when someone asks, what do I think of a situation? Well, I don't know, man, because my perception is different than yours, and your perception matters more than mine because you're the one living in your mind under that perception, and I am not. So I could sit here, preach to you 6 ways to Sunday, how everything is working out for you, but if you don't believe it and you don't choose to see it, it ain't gonna fucking happen, my dog. And yes, you can manifest for other people. I feel like someone's thinking that you manifest for someone else, but like, my dude, I'm not manifesting for anyone. I am not. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit and manifest for someone else because no one needs that. No one needs someone else to manifest for them. I don't want anyone to put their power in an outside source. Even if you're like, oh, the outside source is an angel or a deity, just like I went on to a sermon before. They're not outside, they're still you, but you're placing the power there when the power ought to be within you. So I would recommend, yes, you can manifest for someone, but if someone is telling you, yeah, I'll manifest your person for you, I don't know. For me, I'm just not, that's just something for me I wouldn't personally do, because then you're going to be reliant on that person to continue to manifest for you. And you're likely going to keep having to pay them to manifest for you. And what my goal is, you want to manifest for yourself. Like, sure, like if you look at whoever as like, you know, offering advice or whatever, that's one thing, but like then like for you to put your power in like anyone, me or anyone else, can you manifest this for me? Is that what you want to do? You want to be dependent on someone to manifest for you when all you need to do is just have them give you the tools so you can manifest for yourself? So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know, or the people in the manifestation community that are like, save this sound and your person will text you in 10 seconds. Like, stop buying into that shit. Like, just stop, because that's a bunch of bullshit. Or if someone tells you, oh no, you can't manifest that because it's unethical, I wouldn't listen to that motherfucker, because that's their judgment. So someone could come to me and they could tell me the most whatever story, okay? And I'm like, okay, so this is what you do to get that. And they'd be like, what? Like, oh, like, well, I spoke to someone else and they said that I can't have that because XYZ ABC. I'm like, well, they were wrong. And if you believe that, then you can't have that. But I'm telling you, you can have that, but you can't have, okay, let's talk about morals and ethics and judgment, right? Because there is no moral, ethics, or judgment, right? Because only God can judge, and you are God of your reality. There's none else. So let's say you want to be with a person. That person is married, they have a family, whatever, right? On paper, 3D societal construct, You want to be with that person, okay? Someone tells you, no, that's not ethical. I'm not going to help you manifest that. That they're judging you, that particular thing, right? Someone wants $20 million just handed to them out of nowhere without doing anything, without even lifting a finger to play the lotto. Oh no, well, you need to set up a business. You just can't have money handed to you. That's a judgment of that thing. So if a manifestation person who's talking about it is telling you something like that, that is their judgment. Me personally, I don't give a fuck what you want to manifest. I'm not going to manifest for you, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do to get what you want so that you can empower yourself and have proof that you can get whatever you want. But if it's something that society would see as immoral, well, how can you just expect money to land in your lap? You didn't earn it. There's your block. Oh, you can't have this person. They're married. They have a family. That would be whatever the fuck, right? That's a societal program. So if you believe that, then yeah, you're going to cause a lot of chaos for yourself. So you have to know what you want. Does it feel light? Does it feel good to me? Does this feel like something that's natural? And I don't mean euphoric. I don't mean ecstatic. I don't mean, oh no, what if I get this? That no. I don't give a fuck about morals, ethics. I don't give a fuck. If you hate someone and you do not have any kind words or wishings for them, I don't give a fuck, because you have a valid fucking reason to not want anything good for them. So then what are you going to concentrate on? Are you going to concentrate on them having a fucking bed of roses waiting for them? No, you're going to concentrate on what you want for them. And that's not up for me to judge. But if you're sitting there, let's say you're religious. Oh, but we have to wish well upon our neighbors. Okay, then there's your block. There's no judgment. Aside from you, you're the only God. Now, I'm not endorsing saying go out and be a fucking asshole to everyone and cause havoc and whatever. But if something feels right to you, and if it brings you peace, even if society says that it has to be earned, even if society says that it's not natural, even if society is saying that that's immoral or unethical, but it brings you a sense of peace and calm. Ooh, thank you for the gift. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. Because that's where a lot of things, and especially with money, I've seen this. Because people be like, but what do you mean money could just appear out of nowhere? You have a block because you were trained by society that you have to earn it. You don't have to earn shit. What? Do gods and goddesses earn anything? No, they exist. They sit upon the throne and motherfuckers bring shit to them as offerings. But if you don't see yourself that way, then yeah, you're going to keep having to earn fucking money. If you know that you have a connection with someone who happens to be married and they have a family, but you know that it brings you peace when you and this person are together, and that whatever is going on that has nothing to do with you, and it's just you and them, then that's what you concentrate on. If there's someone that did you wrong, that did you so grimy, and you have nothing nice to say about them, and you want whatever you want to occur with them, you're absolutely valid. Your feelings are valid. If it brings you a sense of peace. So you want to think of it not from morals or ethics. What feels right, what feels natural. And here's where feeling, I'll tell you what, here's where feeling comes into play. Because you're going to think, because the societal program, that something is not right. You can't manifest that because the person has free will or whatever the case. No. You're like, what brings me peace and calm about this situation? Whatever that is, that's what you go for. It don't fucking matter what anyone says. It don't matter what I say. I don't give a fuck what you want. I don't give a fuck what you want. You should give a fuck what you want. But I will tell you this. If you want something and you have a societal construct that contradicts the thing that you want, such as you have to earn a wage, then you need to get over that hump And you need to dismantle that belief, and you need to get on board with saying money just, I am the currency. That's it. Money just flows to me no matter what I do. I know I'm meant to be with this person. I know it's just the two of us. I know that person that did whatever, yeah, they're not getting away with that. You have to know that. And you have to not give a fuck about morals or ethics, because you're not going to hear me talking about morals or ethics. You're not. I'm God of my reality. You're God of your reality. So if God, meaning you, is like, yeah, this brings me peace, brings me calm, brings me true neutrality, you fucking go for it. And you don't give a fuck what anyone says. And if it's a manifestation that you even feel a little weird telling anyone about because it might be seen as taboo or whatever the fuck, you don't need to tell anyone. Talk out loud to yourself. Write it in a journal, or just speak in your mind and say, no, I'm the Lord and there is none else, and what I want is valid because it brings me peace and it brings me calm and it brings me neutrality, and that's it. And I'm here for peace and calm and neutrality. That's it. Exactly. There are no morals, there are no ethics. There's just you. There's just you. You don't need to light a candle. You don't need to do a meditation. You don't need to do all of that. All you need to do is just know what you want. And if you feel a constriction coming up, that's a contradicting belief. So you figure out, okay, money doesn't grow on trees. All right, let me get rid of that belief. You could do it in one shot. Yeah, I have a money tree in my backyard. I have a money tree in my corner over here. I have a money tree growing out of the toilet, whatever the fuck it is. Just start saying that. But it's assumed. Law of assumption. You just assume. You just assume the motherfucker's in love with you. You just assume the money is yours. You just assume that you're in good health. You just assume it. Yeah, that's what it is. There's no why, how question. It just is. The state of being, the state of God, it's just, this is what it is. And it's not a place of constriction. It's not a place of anger. It's not a place of fear. It's a place of peace. It's a place of calm. It's a place of neutrality. And that's how you know you're there. And you don't need anyone to get you there. You don't need anyone to get you there. You don't need to do like a spell. I mean, unless like you're into that. If you're into it, it makes you feel good to light candles and like do, you know what I mean? By all means, do that. But you don't need to do any of that. It's the law of, what do I feel like doing right now? I feel like doing this. Okay, I'm gonna just go with it. That's it. Oh, but society says that I can't do that. I don't know. Remember, everyone is you pushed out. So you gotta start thinking everyone loves me, accepts me, respects me exactly as I am. For I am the Lord and there is none else. So you even thinking that someone else is judging you, you are the one that is casting the judgment that someone else is judging you. They're not judging you. No one's judging you. No one gives a fuck. Because remember, they're all you, right? So no one gives a fuck. You give a fuck. And then it's displayed outwards and reflected back to you by other motherfuckers. So you're like, oh, my coworker don't like me. They a hater. They always stealing my lunch out the fucking fridge. Whatever. I don't know. What do you think you're going to get? Whereas if you walk in, you're like, I'm the boss. Yeah, ain't no one touching my lunch. It has my name on it. And motherfuckers know better. Matter of fact, motherfuckers offered to buy me lunch, so I don't even need to bring lunch to work no more. You see the difference in that? And I fucking lived it, and I have changed individuals over fucking night. I have done it. I've just changed my perception. Oh, this person is a cunt. And I'm like, you know what? No, they're my friend. The next fucking day, in less than 24 hours. If you really nail it, in my opinion, shit happens in less than 24 hours. Whether you pray to a deity, whether you pray to the toilet bowl, whether you just fucking decide, change is instant. It can happen like within a second. But for me, I've noticed like my fastest manifestations, I mean big ones, that I'm just like, no, this is my decision. It's always happened in less than 24 hours just by, I decided. I'm like, this is what it is. That's what it is. But you have to have the conviction. And you can't doubt it and you can't waver. You have to know it the way that you know your name. You cannot be saying, what is so-and-so going to think of me? Your respect is assumed. Everyone loves me. Everyone accepts me. Everyone respects me. I'm the boss. Because you fucking are. You're the only thinker. That's what I'm saying. So if you perceive that the religious figure, whoever it is, the rabbi, the priest, whoever it is, if you perceive that the teacher, the fucking doctor, the lawyer, they know better than you, then yeah, you're gonna get that played out. If you perceive the person, everyone's favorite topic, the person, right? The person that you say you're in love with, they told you they want nothing to do with you. So now you're lurking on the creeper account. You're doing drive-bys outside the house and shit. You calling the homies saying whatever the fuck. Yeah, you doing the most. Now who's God? They are. Why? Because you're concerned. What are they doing? But they said they don't want to talk to you. Oh, but you're the deciding factor. So now you had to accept what they said is true. So now they're higher than you in your own reality. Do you fucking want that? And here's the thing. I'm telling you, I have done it. People shifting overnight. Money, health, fitness, bro, you name it, overnight. But the common denominator was I said, fuck this, to whatever 3D. I was like, that's not it. This is it. And I hyped myself up. I'm like, I'm the boss. I'm the Lord, and there isn't else. This is what it is. And I was even doing this before I knew about what manifestation is. I was like, fuck this shit. Or I would laugh at it. I would sit there and I would fucking cackle like I'm fucking insane, like a fucking laughing hyena. I really 3D circumstance, you ain't shit. Boom. Or like I said, if there's a deity that I would resonate with, I would just look at a picture of them on my phone. I didn't have no shrine to nobody. I would just have a conversation with them. And that was the life raft, the little tube, whatever, that the ego needed. Okay, now it's in this deity's hands. That's fine. It depends on the situation. For different things, you might need to do different things. Not every technique is the same. And this is why, I'm like, my dog, when you're comparing your story to someone else's, there is no comparison because you're having your own fucking experience. For someone, it might be very easy to manifest a marriage. For someone else, it might be very easy to manifest money. Okay? For someone, affirmations might work. For someone else, visualizations might work. For someone else, just deciding might work. So you don't want to compare yourself to anyone. You don't want to be, oh my God, bro. I see in the comments, they'd be like, yo, DM me. I need to know exactly what your affirmations were. Well, start looking at yourself as an individual. You're not them. You are them on some level because everyone's all connected. But you know what I mean? What works for you? Number one, what do you want? Number two, what's going to make you feel calm in the moment? That's it. As long as you don't think against the thing, as long as you don't complain about the lack of the thing, as long as you're not looking at timing, you're going to have what you want before you even know it. But the thing is, and I've noticed with individuals, especially with the person, but they did this, but they said that, but now they did this, but then they did this, but they blocked me, they unblocked me. Holy Jesus. Oh my God, I need to pray to Kanye West right now because holy shit, that's a lot. There's a lot going on right there. Oh, yay, or ye, I don't know how to say your name, but you know who you is. There's a lot going on. Let's just get this person where they belong. Okay. Why are you so focused on what they are doing? And I mean the motherfucker that you have an interest in. Not this specific person. They ain't specific. They ain't shit. You are the shit. This is why, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, when you lose interest in someone, you're like, ew, what the fuck was I thinking? Because who was hyping them up? Who was making them find shit? You. They weren't doing that, you were. That's why when you done with them, you disgusted because you were the one that was giving them that energy. So now, what I want you to keep in mind is that if there is a motherfucker and you have an interest in them, but all you're doing is talking about the circumstance, but they blocked you, but they ghosted you, but they, whatever the fuck they do, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, they fucking jackalopes in the backyard. I don't know. Whatever you are saying they are doing, you are so constant. It's like literally, figuratively, I don't know, figuratively, you have a shrine to this motherfucker in your fucking head. They're your God. You're bowing down to this motherfucker because you're like, what are they doing? I gotta find out what they're doing. They're your God. You want to know what they're up to, bro. Like what are they on TMZ right now where they're that special that motherfuckers want to know where the fuck they're eating, where the fuck they're shitting? Who's making them special? It's you. And that is what 90% of the fucking issue is when someone is manifesting a relationship or but he did this, but he said that, but she did this, but they did, but they, whoa. And I'm like, so what have you been doing? Well, but they did. Okay. Do we need an exorcism here? Do we need to pull that motherfucker's energy from your fucking field because you got a shrine to this ass motherfucker? But they, what have you been doing? How have you been thinking? But they said, and that's the problem. That's 90% of the problem why motherfuckers are not in the relationship with that person, because they're too focused on the circumstance. They're too focused on it. They're too focused on it. And not everyone is like this, okay? But the majority of individuals who are intending to manifest a person are just so focused on what the other person is doing. And they're making a shrine to that person. Okay, so there's a difference in someone who's approaching it from a commanding, godly way. They're like, well, you know, this person said they didn't want to be with me. They weren't ready for a relationship. But yeah, that sucked in the moment, but I'm not accepting that. That's the difference. And they're not calling every homie and harping on it. They're not making fake accounts. They're not doing drive-bys. They're just like, I'm not accepting that. It's very simple. There's no chaotic energy. There's no, and that's the thing. Like with relationships, yes, the energy tends to be heightened because feelings are involved, whatever the case. But that's why with the whole specific person community, it's like, my dog, 90% of your problems will go away if you just stop concentrated on what they are doing, what they said, what they did. And if you're unable to do that, then you need to just say, okay, let me put them on a timeout, and you place that motherfucker on a timeout in your mind, and you hype yourself up and you say, everyone wants to be with me. I'm so sexy. I'm so charming. I'm so delightful, right? That's what you do. But then you could be tempted to make a fake account and spy on them. You could be tempted to do drive-by. You'd be tempted to call the homie and complain. And that's where the discipline comes in. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you are manifesting a relationship with a person, 90% of the issues would go away if you put more focus on you and how you were thinking about yourself and about the situation rather than on them. So now the shrine is back where it belongs, on you. You're on the pedestal. You're in the spotlight. It's not them. It's not what are they doing. It's not, TMZ chasing them down, that they're some fucking celebrity and you're a fan. Ooh, thank you for the gift. It's okay. I'm the operant power. Maybe some things happened that I didn't enjoy, but you know what? I'm not going to experience that. You have to stay true to that conviction. And that's where the discipline comes in, and it's mental discipline. You know what I mean? It's mental discipline with any manifestation, but especially with like people, I've noticed, like, because feelings are involved, it's like, holy shit. Like, you are way too into what they are doing, what they said, what they didn't say. You're way too into it. Take the focus off of them. Do something for you. Do something for you. If it's doing a candle ritual, saying so-and-so is in love with me and they're obsessed with me, if that's what's going to make you feel better in the moment and empower you, then by all means fucking do that shit. But don't rehash, what are they doing, but they said this, but they did that, but this happened. And that's why, like, for a person especially that you have history with, you cannot look at them through the eyes of the past, because you're just going to summon that same version of them. You have to look at them as a brand new person. So that motherfucker who you had all these issues with, they no longer exist. And you have to be disciplined about it. That's really the only advice for manifesting a relationship with a person that you have history with. You can no longer view them that way. And if you're unable to do that, you're unable to do that. But if you want that, if you want them, you don't want them. You don't want the shit version. You want the upgraded version, right? You don't want the iPhone 1. You want the iPhone fucking 26, whatever the fuck they're on now. Okay, I'm an Android. I love my Android, but whatever. Okay, so you have to decide: am I able to see this person differently than how I previously saw them? And because feelings are involved, it might be difficult. But be honest with yourself. If you're unable to see them favorably, if it's too triggering for you because of the past, because of the emotions, then you have to really check in and be honest and be like, you know what, I have to just focus on me right now and put them on the back burner because it's too much. But if you're like, you know what, I can see how I had some unfavorable story about the situation with them, and you know what, I've worked on myself, and I can see them differently. It's totally different, but you have to be honest with yourself. Because sometimes you want the motherfucker from the ego vantage point. Because the ego is like, oh yeah, well, I just want them to want me so that I can fucking reject them or whatever. You know what I mean? So you really have to check in with what you want. And if you want to manifest someone back so you can reject them, that's none of my business. If that's something you want, then that's your intention. But if you want a lasting relationship with someone and you want it to be mutual, and you want it to be like your ideal relationship, and it's a person from the past, you cannot look at them the same. You can't. Because that old story is going to come up, or a memory is going to come up, or an emotion or whatever. And now what you're doing is just summoning that same identity of them that done fucked up. And that's what it is. Exactly. People don't change. It's you that change, which is what that sums up what I'm saying. Because you're viewing them now as your ideal. You're not viewing them as a version of them that did this, that, and the third. You're viewing them as someone who is your perfect match, and they didn't change. All you're here, you're stable, right? So you were looking at the shit version of them. So that's what you got. So now you're here, but now you're looking at the ideal version of them. Like I said, it's a filter. It's like you swap out a filter, you put on a new one. Okay, they're like this. If the old story comes up, you say, nope, this is the version. This is the only version of them I accept. That's it. And you have to stick with it. But in the meantime, okay, and I don't know how long it's, time is irrelevant, but like, let's say it takes a week for them to conform. During that week, you have to be true to yourself, looking at them as the ideal rather than the shit version. So it's all coming from you. Motherfuckers can change instantaneously. I've heard stories of this happening. I've had this happen. Like it happens. But you have to be honest with yourself. If there's too much that has went on between you and someone and you're just like, then you know what? You don't need to force yourself to manifest more. Even if I can manifest them to change, I'm going to prove something to myself. That's the ego talking. That's the ego. That's all ego. So if you genuinely can look at them right now and check in with yourself and be like, you know what? We do have something great. I know there's a connection. I know there's an attraction. It's just shit got jangled up somehow. But I'm able to do this. I'm able to view them ideally, and the old story is just, it's gone. You do it. If you want to manifest them for revenge or whatever, then that's what you do. But if you want to manifest them to be in that ideal relationship, but at the same time you're like, but they did this, but they said that, but they blah, 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 whatever it is, you're going to get wavering results. You're going to get a shit show in the 3D, most likely. You're going to get hot and cold because you're wavering, because you're like, yeah, but this is the ideal. No, but they did this. If you're like that, okay, there's no set intention. You think there is, because consciously you're like, oh, I want them to be the ideal version. But underneath all that is like, oh, but they did this, but they said that, blah, 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 blah. There's a battle happening in your mind. So the motherfucker is going to likely show up, and then they're going to disappear again. Why? Because you're wavering. You're two different versions. Shit version, ideal version. It's coming from you. So be honest with yourself. Check in. If too much has happened at this point in time, right now, or check in with yourself every day. Am I able to really view them as the version that I want without any infiltration? Go ahead. If you want to manifest them for revenge or for whatever it is, and you're, go ahead and do that. But if you want an ideal relationship with them and you check in with yourself and you're like, oh, but they did this, but they did that, but they said this, but da, 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 you're going to get wavering. I would recommend, if that is your case, I'd recommend you take a break from thinking about them. Put them in a corner, put them on a timeout. Doesn't have to be forever. Time doesn't exist. But you want to make sure that you focus on you. So what went wrong in that relationship? Was it a pattern within you? Was it something specific to them? Like you want to try to isolate that. Okay, if it was something specific to them, that's easy, because it's like, okay, you met them. You've always had great relationships. You met them, but they told you that they weren't looking for something serious. You took that up the butt, whatever. Okay. So you'd be like, well, I'm always offered commitment right away, especially from this person. That's easy. But if it's been a long-standing pattern, when you meet someone and everything is great, but then they're like, oh, I don't want something serious, or this or that, or there's some sort of obstacle, whatever it is, even they work too much could be an obstacle. Then you want to look at that. You want a place to keep them on time. I'll be like, everyone I meet always has more than enough time to be with me just the way that I want. You isolate this story if it's a pattern. That's it. That's it. But if you are out there calling the homies and making fake accounts and drive-bys and going by the job and reaching out to family members, you're doing too much. You're making them a celebrity. So you need to stop that right now. And that's 90%. Even if you were to just not think about them again, if you were to never do any of those things I just mentioned again, that motherfucker would be back already. Because that's what's causing the resistance. Because remember, like I said in the beginning, or sometime in the middle, time doesn't exist. I was like, if I'm looking for the movie, am I watching the movie? I can't be looking for something and watching it at the same time. Just like you can't be wondering what they're doing, looking at what they're doing, asking what are they doing, and knowing that they're with you at the same time. It contradicts itself. It cancels itself out. So if you just stop that, man, that's the best thing you could do with a person. Like, legit. It's like, you know, it is what it is. But my phone needs some recharging right now, and I've been talking for a long time, so this will go on YouTube at a certain point. Thank you all for the gifts, for the likes, for the comments, for the conversations. Thank you all for booking with me, and I will chit chat with you guys very soon. If you did book a session, please email me, or you can DM me on here. And yeah, it was supposed to be short, but you know what, Jane, we like a little bit of length. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. I love you all. May you all have the best manifestations ever, because you deserve it. I will talk to you soon. Bye. Joining, I love you all. May you all have the best manifestations ever, because you deserve it. I will talk to you soon. Bye.